Five screens going. Good morning, everyone. I
We
hope
are here.
I hope y'all are having a great day. And there we are.
Lag is cheering you.
There we are. Hope everybody's having a great morning. Hope it's not too cool for you. I got a space heater on out here in the sunroom.
Yeah, Lag, we actually started a show on Thursday.
Yeah.
Tuesday wasn't so great.
Nope. Nope.
And clean shaven.
No, I'm not either. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yep, Tom's as smooth as a baby's ass.
Yeah, right. Maybe an old lady's ass because that's
Old
awful
lady's
wrinkled.
ass.
Wrinkled. Oh, Lord. How's everybody doing? Y'all shipping this morning? Todd, you shipping a lot of stuff out this morning?
I have 13 going out this morning. It was a banger day yesterday.
Well, good.
A banger.
I got a couple going out. I really haven't. I've really not been involved in eBay since January 1. I did a bunch of listing on January 1, but I've had other things come up since then.
Dang,
And
Lag. Lag sold $8,000.
yeah, and I'm built like a Peter Adonis dancer too. Like, so let's see whose lie is bigger. I have a piece of land that is just semi fenced in, and a guy's wanting to rent it to put his cows on it. He lives next door to me, and or to it, not to me. And he's wanting to put his cows over there. We're trying to come out on a price, and um, he wants me to fix the fences, and I'm not doing that. You know,
Mm.
tell him to. I told him, I said, you need to throw a price at me with you doing. I mean, it's not bad. It's just got certain spots it's down because they used old like cedar, cut down cedar trees and used those as posts 90 years ago. So they're starting to, rot. But I said, you put up. I said, I'll get some metal fence posts. You put it up, but give me a price. Figure that in there. So I'm just wanting to get tax money out of it, property taxes. A little extra would be good. A lot of extra would be good, but basically, I just want the taxes paid on it, so it's not causing any problems.
Um,
Good morning, Mr. Sadie.
just tell him to put his cows out there free range.
Yeah. Well, it's 87 acres and it's all one big pasture. So, cause the guy that had this piece, or the family that had this piece, had the piece beside. I mean, his. Oh, it's the son of the original owner lives on the other side of it, and um, he got out of the farming business because nobody in his kids are not wanting to farm or ranch, whatever you want to call it, do cows. So I acquired the piece of property because I like dirt. Because if nothing else, I can live on it. And so, like I said, I just want to get the taxes paid on it and a little extra money, and I'm not killing myself. I'm too old for that shit.
Phil, you went to the Amazon clearance place. So, was it like palletized? Did you buy pallets or you just picked out individual things?
Is it one of those bin stores?
Was it Amazon bins?
We-
$300.
We've had a lot of them coming and going around here. No, like I'm not doing farming work. Yeah, lag. We could. Good morning, Peddling. Good morning, John. Let's go back up here and introduce it. Mr. Sadie, it's always a pleasure. Lag. Texas. So I've been involved in that, and I haven't done squat with. So I think we're about to come by the end of the weekend. We should get that taken care of because I'm not going to waste any more time on it. But so I got a couple things. I about $90 worth of stuff going out. Like you need to get out of the basement, son. Get out and start weaning yourself out of the darkness. Get out in the sun so you don't explode like a damn vampire. Because I refuse to acknowledge the sparkling like diamonds that's prevalent in one series of books. Vampires do not sparkle. Um, yeah, it must be. We've had a lot of Texas. We've had a lot of people open up those around here, and they don't. I mean, they hang it. They last 4 or 5 months, and then they just kind of like disappear. For somebody like Todd, he should open up one and then pick it all out, all the stuff that he wants to sell, and then sell all of it. You sparkle, Galak. Um, and we've picked. I mean, we've stopped. There was a couple between here and Roberta's parents' place, and we've stopped in there several times. But I've really not. I mean, we found some stuff for us, but not really anything for I wanted to resell.
He doesn't need a pet cow. He needs a pet bull. Call it Todd.
No, I don't want no livestock.
He could go into cat ranching.
Don't want any more cats. The four I got is enough.
Was that a beer commercial back, I don't know, about 10 years ago in the Super Bowl? There were cat wranglers,
Yeah.
guys on horses, and they were wrangling cats. It was a good commercial.
Yeah, it was. Especially since cats would probably they would have jumped up on that horse and said, "Right, get it, cowboy." Uh, okay, this is nothing to do with reselling. I was trying to get ready to do the show this morning, and I thought of my dad because I knocked over a can of hairspray, and my dad always used hairspray on his hair. Uh, Back in the day, there was a stuff that it was like a bottle of like oil, Earl, that men used on their hair. Do y'all remember what it's called? Was called? Like that was probably predates you, way predates you.
I remember Brill cream. It was kind of a creamy, oily. We used to slick our hair back with that. was that called?
Vitalis.
Vitalis. Yeah.
I just googled it. That was the oil, the Earl for some of y'all.
Yeah, we used to have Brill cream, and then after about 3 or 4 days, our pillowcases were all greasy.
Yeah, yeah, like it was way before 2010. Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Good morning. Also, yeah, it was. That's it. It was Vitalis. You're right. Started with a V.
And then when we had those crew cuts, we
Yeah.
get that thick butch wax stuff to make that front part stand up right.
Well, until I was about 12, I always had a flat top. Google it, uh, lag. And so we used the Vitalis to make it stand up on, make it stand up. We had to look good for church because church was suit and tie day. Hair had to be done. So my mom would make sure we washed our hair that night before we went to bed because the next day, when we were, especially during the summer, we were outside playing and whatnot. All that dirt, dust, and leaves and everything else would stick to your hair. Uh, then there was what was the stuff that the African Americans used? It was real oily looking.
Yeah,
You know,
velvet sheen or something.
yeah.
Wonder what velvet sheen goes for on eBay. Let's see, Belbashage.
Jerry curl. That's it, John. Jerry curl. That's the one I was looking for. I know what Todd's talking to, but the Jerry curl. That's the one. Afro Sheen.
Afro sheen.
Good
Something,
morning.
I knew it was something sheen.
Good morning, Cashy.
Velvet sheen is a t-shirt. I didn't know that.
Uh,
Afro sheen, 13.98 a jar.
I, a boy I went to high school with. He's a black boy, and we ran in the same group of friends. And I was at his house one. He and Roberta and I were at their house one evening, and his son, who was about 15 at the time, came out with an old annual from high school, and he said, "Look at my daddy." I said, "Yeah, I remember your daddy," because his afro was as wide as his shoulders were, because he was, one of those skinny boys, and he said. Daddy said it took longer to do. He had to get up like 2 hours before school to do his hair to make sure it was all picked out and everything. I said, "Yep, that's the way it was."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and my friend's wife said, "Yeah, I'm lucky to get him to even just run a brush through it now," which he didn't have a lot left by then. Anyway, like I said, uh, my train of thought, I knocked over a can of hairspray. That made me think of that. He used some kind of men's hairspray. That made me think, and that made me go back to the oil. So that's my train of thought and how I arrived at that question.
Yeah, I think in 1982 I used hairspray. That was back when I had some hair. Long time ago now.
I was they've come up with so much crap during the years for people. They got to have it. I can't remember what that hairspray was called, but it was made for men. Well, it was probably the same thing as women's. It just had a more manly or hair label on it.
Yep.
I was never big into hairspray. Aquanet. That was what my mom used. Good morning, Tactical. Good morning, Baseball. So things have changed, and one of these days when as we chronically that's hairspray. I mean, that's paint, isn't it? Yeah, we started on time. Actually, we were started a few seconds early. Good morning, Anissa. So everybody started dragging in here. How was your sales yesterday?
Well,
Good
I
morning, Pearl.
decided to sell a couple of coins, but which made my total go way up. But I paid up for them, so I only made about 25 a piece on 2 coins.
Was they silver or just
Gold.
gold?
So my total looks great, but actual take home pay ain't that great. But I sold, geez, I got 13 items going out. Uh, I mean, my sales have been good for, gosh, they've just been good. What can I say?
Good morning, chicken. Well, you've been listening too.
Yeah, and
Good morning,
gosh,
Glenn.
I decided in July I would try 5.1% promoted listings, but my sales are pretty good before that. And I still do 5.1% across the board. And shoot, I can't believe how much I'm selling really for the amount of work I do.
Right.
Uh, gosh, I bet I'm making $30, $40 an hour just piddling around in my den here with piles of crap.
Well, that's good.
Lags up 32%. I don't, I beat inflation in 2023, which is, that's a good thing. It's never enough though. I want to be rich.
Well, unless you get some good stuff, I think that's going to be kind of hard.
I can get stuff pretty much.
Getting them listed is the issue.
Yeah. And, God, if I worked as hard as Scott, I bet I would be, I bet my sales would be triple what they are. But I ain't going to work that hard
Well, Scott said the other day on the stove. Golly, what's wrong with you, Tom?
on the stove.
On the stove, on the show.
You're thinking about breakfast already.
Yeah, I am. I'm starving because we've went full keto Tuesday, and I'm
Yep. This
Okay.
is the start of day 4 keto with me. No, day 3. Starting the second.
So I'm hungry.
I think I'm in keto already because I lost a pound. 1 pound, yay! Only 58 left to go.
Um, yeah, we're full blown keto, and
And I cleared off the treadmill. I've done 3 days on the treadmill already.
well, my youngest one's off today, so he's going to clean off our treadmill. He's going to take down the Christmas tree and take clean off the treadmill. Well, good that she's over the COVID. Like you sound like you're from the South. Everything is the COVID, the cancer, the flu, the measles. Everything is the. Ugh, chocolate syrup on pancakes? No, thank you. Good morning, Beth.
Yeah,
Beth Ann.
it's like my 90-day total is bigger than it's ever been right now.
Well, good. You guys. Um, well, that's good. Todd, just keep it up. What I was trying to say about Scott though is he talks about he lists X amount of dollars, not you know 50 items. So we'll talk about
Beth,
it.
yours is lower than it's ever been. That's strange because you sell clothes and people always need clothes. I wouldn't think clothing would go down in sales. But a lot of mine is like this ring. I I paid $74 for it. So I've got a lot of I'd have to put a pen and paper to it. I'm selling it for like 140. So I'm not I'm not quadrupling my money on that, you know. So
Right.
there's some of that's built in.
Now, has that sold already?
No, I've had 2 offers on it and they've been sucky. You're down 2,000 a month and going down. Shoot.
Now, Beth, you're not doing any parts anymore, are you?
I think she's strictly clothing. And I sold a couple of army cots a week ago
Cool.
on Facebook Marketplace. So I don't even count that in my totals.
I thought you already had a part-time job, Beth, at the doctor's office or whatever that office is that you go to.
Oh, you did restart on the parts?
Okay.
When in doubt, part it out. That's
I
what
got
Commonwealth Picker always says. When in
yeah.
doubt, part it out. It's a good thing.
Oh, that's full time. Okay. It's
I thought, Beth, you had a full-time job also.
she does. That's what she was saying. That's called a full-time job.
Oh,
That's considered full-time, Tom. Oh, okay. What is OA? Do you do RA or OA? Garage sales or what?
do. I do I'd say 70% of my items come from a local auction now. Uh,
Okay.
it's an online auction and put in the bids and win lots of stuff and sell it. Online arbitrage
Is that what it's called? Because I like online auctions.
or retail arbitrage.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
I try to do retail arbitrage every once in a while. Go look for stuff. It's like yesterday. Um, I heard about an item at Dollar Tree, and we have a Dollar Tree in town. So I went and looked, and they didn't have it.
only one Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
We have like $500 trees in Charlotte.
Well, about 500 times more people live in Charlotte than live in my little town. What site do I use? Well, the local auction has their own website. Um,
Highbid.com.
Highbid.com has auctions all the time, everywhere.
And there's another one that I still get their emails. It's like everything but the sink or something like that. And but they don't have that many auctions, and their stuff tends to be more stuff like Todd buys, the high end stuff.
What's that government auction one? Gov Deals?
Yeah, Gov Deals. But they've just mostly had last time around here in the Carolinas. It's just been junk. If you live around Georgia, good morning, Silver Hair. GovDeals.com. If you look, if you know, some states have like out west. I can't remember where it's at, but there's like some big auctions out there all the time.
So I put in the side chat Ritchie Brothers.
Uh huh.
They've got the contract with the U.S. military, and don't be afraid to look at their website because the first 10 pages will probably be like heavy duty equipment like trucks and
Right.
cranes and uh, earth moving equipment. But you look into it and you can find military surplus items to sell. And generally, you can find someplace close enough that you can drive and do the pickup. They've got a huge facility in Vegas. I do not know why John flipping ain't easy isn't buying from them. Any of those Vegas guys, like and I've told him about it. I keep mentioning it to John, but that it's incredible what you can find.
Yeah, it's
There used to be a military surplus auction that I could pick up stuff in Oklahoma City, which is about a 3.5 hour drive,
right.
and I would buy pallets of stuff. I bought 12 different Gaylord pallets of stuff from that auction, and I made thousands. But that company lost their contract, and Ritchie Brothers got it.
Yeah, they have a section called consumer items.
Yeah, you can buy a Humvee, you can buy great big used military trucks.
Plant equipment.
Are you looking at it now?
Yeah, I was looking at it now. Bar benders. They got all kinds of crap here. Uh,
Yeah, I've seen on their website. You can buy like a mobile army kitchen. It's on a trailer. You can
right.
buy a whole kitchen. Man, if you were doing like a food truck business, I'd scoop one of those things up. Hi, Jennifer.
Well, a buddy of mine, or actually, it's his wife, his family they had a porta john. Her father and grandfather had a porta john building a business. The little porta johns they take out on construction sites and whatnot. And it was a good size, and they did not have any debt. And so, when in 2008, when there was no construction going on, um,
Why would it be hard to get a mobile kitchen passed by the health department?
oh, because you have to have them inspected and everything.
Well, so
I mean, it wouldn't
I
be
mean, if
to me.
it's
It wouldn't be any harder than these food trucks and whatnot.
if it's yeah, every food truck would probably have to be
They
inspected.
are in North Carolina.
But
Every one of them is inspected.
if uh, if it's built good enough for the United States military, why wouldn't it be good enough to run a food truck out of it?
It'd probably be better, but because the construction business went out in 2008 for a few years. They bought up other companies, and I think they had like 100,000 porta johns at one time.
Yeah,
And they got into the market where they had fairs, and when people would have fairs or festivals and stuff like that. They built basically a bathrooms on the back of a flatbed trailers, and they would just haul them in, park them over a dadgum dump, over a manhole, plumb it up, and they
yeah, yeah,
made.
James. But I bet the military health inspections are every bit as stringent as the.
Of course, you can't have a daggum a platoon of people sick from stomach viruses. But a company out of California offered them more money than they could
Anyway,
turn down, so they ended up selling it all out. So
but yeah, I'm shipping out a two U.S. military surplus shirts today and a mosquito net. And they were all USGI Army. I'm not making a whole lot in each one, but it adds up. I had like, over the years, I've probably had 50 of those mosquito nets, and they've all sold. And anybody can do it. You just go to military auctions and buy it up. Gov Deals and Ritchie Brothers auctions. I don't know why anybody couldn't do what I do.
because it takes effort. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah. I always get stuff that, I'll buy a lot of stuff at the local auction and military surplus. And I expect I throw half of it away. But where do you live, Tactical Z? Because I think there's a big warehouse in like Pennsylvania, and then there's a great big one in Vegas. And I can't imagine not being able to buy from them and just you can make a living just off of that stuff. I would think. Yeah, Robin. Um,
I was looking uh, like 100 miles from South Carolina. I mean, from my zip code, and
I think Jim and Tara have bought cars from government surplus.
yeah, I mean, some of it's crap, like books, textbooks, out of date textbooks. You
And there
know,
you go, tactical. He says it's between DC and Baltimore. So, or that's where he is, and you'd be real close. I mean, you'd probably be in driving distance of that great big Ritchie Brothers warehouse.
oh, this one's
But
good.
anyway, I don't want to beat it into the ground, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, like if you're in New Jersey, this one said it was in Charlotte, but everything's in New Jersey. Uh, New truck and bus parts. Bidding starts at $1. I mean, I got a crap load of bicycle parts that I didn't pay nothing. I've already made way more than I paid for all this stuff off of bike parts. And I don't know anything about bus parts, but they look like they're got labels on them and whatnot. So, I mean, somebody like Lag that never leaves the house, and he's not too far away from Carlsbad, Carlstadt, New Jersey.
But like, I don't know how many pair of military boots I've sold. Hundreds. And they're cheap.
Yeah,
These probably won't sell very good because they're like a size 3.
I
I'm not.
actually, I actually sold some stuff to a guy down in Atlanta, and all he does is buy because the gov deals has changed a lot of stuff, and I really, other than like the Charlotte metro area, I don't really look that far, but used to be like in Atlanta. Actually, it was more down where the big military bases south of Atlanta. They would have like 5,000 tons of spent brass shells, and he would buy that stuff, and he would buy it and never even handle it. He would buy it. He had already had deals with recyclers that they would come in and, um, all those shells have to be crushed before they can be hauled off. So this company had a
Oh,
crusher,
sorry, Anissa.
and they would haul it all off. And he said that he made mucho
6.3
bucks off of
gram.
that.
Uh, you'll get a lot of lowball offers on gold in this. Let me look.
Yeah, Mr. Sadie.
6.3 grams of 14K.
Good morning, Thrifty Santa. Hope you're doing well. I know you were a little under the weather for a while, which everybody was. Um, I think y'all are supposed to get snow, but we're not. I'm going to take the cover off the pool.
Anissa, the gold melt value, is it all gold? Let's see.
It's 206.
It's a band.
Huh.
The gold melt value is $240. If it's a wearable piece, uh, Todd's is precious. I
Glad you
would
were
try to
on.
get at least 300 out of it, Anissa, because somebody's going to want it to use.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a little bit of premium on it. if it's in good shape to for somebody to use. Because I bet 60-70% of wedding bands are 14 karat gold. So yeah, you will get lots of lowball offers. I always counter offer everything. I would counter and take 10% off or something. But no, I wouldn't take 240.
And, and if they keep making low balls, then you just raise your price. Because there's a point that it's insulting.
And the
I'm gonna
pair
share. I'm gonna share. Well, let me share a secret with you. Y'all talking about wedding bands. If I can get mine off because my fingers are so swollen. Boy, I cannot talk this morning. Okay, this is my wedding band.
What's that thing they say about Alzheimer's? You start
Yeah,
mispronouncing words.
yeah, that could be the case. That's my wedding band. Okay, I ha- I have a real one that looks just like that. This one's plastic and aluminum, so I don't have any problems going through metal detectors and all that kind of stuff. Uh, my original wedding band is in our lockbox because my hands got so fat I couldn't wear it anymore. Was afraid that I don't have to cut it off. I was going through the mall back before Christmas, and I stopped and was looking at some watches. And this guy, a salesman came over and was talking to me, and he said,
Al, I just looked it up on Gold Calc. It says 240, but
and
that's whatever.
And so he looked at my hand and he said, "Did you buy that ring from here?" I said, "No, I did not buy this ring from here." And he says, "Oh, we've got one just like it." And damn, if he didn't have one just like it in the showroom in this case. And this is like $3 plastic, but it looks like my wedding band. And
What do you wear that in case you get mugged and somebody
no,
steals your ring?
no, it's because I go in and out through metal detectors a lot, so I just don't like having. And mine is platinum and
Yeah,
onyx. Not
Gwen's got a pacemaker now, so she has to go through the special line every time. So, but stuff like a utility belt, it ain't big bucks, but you sell 50 of them and it's big bucks.
well, you got to think about it like dollar stores. Dollar
U.S.
stores are making like they're not making much off of those items, but they sell a lot of those items, so it all adds up. And something that I've always said was, if you need to make if you need $100 to pay your power bill and you need to sell 100 items to get that $100 to pay the power bill, then it's worth what you're doing. Hopefully, you're using a little bit more thought to it and going for a little bit better price. But um, depending on the circumstances, anything helps. But Todd, I know you don't sell anything for $1 profit, but I'm just saying,
Oh no,
that
I lowered my price on a bunch of my store just to get rid of stuff. I got some almost negative stuff going out just to get it out of here.
Anissa, there will never be another Mrs. Tom Hucks. If something happened to Roberta, ain't no way. It's too much work. And I'm not, but in this, it was a gold digger, so it's just, it's just too much work. And I don't understand these people cheating on their spouses because I don't know about them, but my wife would take everything I fucking own. Pardon my French, but that's just the way it is.
Hmm.
She is the sweetest thing that you could ever, anybody you could ever meet. But you piss her off and the bitch comes out in a real big time. And I don't want to deal with that. So fear. Well, Felix, you knocked yourself out. You got them controlled different over there than they over here. You wouldn't last no time over here with 3 American wives. We'll put Roberta, Gwen, and Tara. There's your 3 wives. I'll give you about 24 hours and before you'll be sending them back. The B word, yeah. Oh, she'll tell you. I love my wife, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. These folks that's been married 60 years and they decided they don't want to be married any longer. They just falling out of love. I don't understand that at all. No, that's Larry. My French is bonjour, comment vas-tu, and je m'appelle Tom. That's it. I used to could ask where the bathroom was, the toilet was.
Everywhere we've been in Europe, I could say toilet,
Yeah.
and they would tell me.
Except if you're in New Jersey, you got to say toilet. Listen, and that's a you might identify with this. A friend of ours got remarried, and his new wife has a 12-year-old had a 12-year-old daughter at the time. She's like 16 now. But after he proposed to his wife, um, he said he told his stepdaughter, he says, "There's only going to be one bitch in my life, and that's her. So leave your bitching at the door." And they've always had a good relationship since then. He just was not putting up with it. Because I hear daughters can kind of get kind of cantankerous. Sons can too, but since I don't have any daughters, that's all hearsay. Lag, lag. Felix, so she's buying all this jewelry and blings like that so you can sell it off when you retire.
You just said lag. Did you mean 24K?
Yeah, I said. Well, I changed it to Felix.
Oh,
She's the one that's like in her late 20s, mid 20s. You know, Roberta and I will have been married 30 years this year, right? Yeah, 30 years this year. It seems like we've been married our entire life. And I was 36 when she got married. We got married. And Roberta's 9 years younger than I am. And shut up right now, lag. Don't start backing up in time. When she was 18, when you were 18, she was 9 years old. Ew. Now, we didn't know each other until I was like 34. So, what do you got on the agenda for today, Todd?
Mm, well, I got to pack 13 orders, and then it's off I go to do battle
Oh,
on
that's
the
right.
on the uh, on the jungle landscape at the Lutheran Ministries rummage sale.
Do you take your girlfriend some donuts or something? They might,
Sure.
if you take her some, take a couple boxes of Krispy Kremes to her, they might give you a sweet deal on some stuff. No, James, I wasn't. He was a creeper in the big way.
Yeah, that'd be nice trip for your ladies, Mr. Sadie.
That'll be nice.
Well, you stay home and work to pay for it.
What is brick? Good morning, brick house. Brick house. What is what is a kolaches?
Kolache.
Kolache, is that it? You don't
It's
use.
a Czech pastry,
Uh,
Czechoslovakian pastry. It's like a really sweet dough bread with. They put all kinds of different fillings in it. You can get like a meat, like a sausage in it, or you can get like pie filling type stuff, like a you can get pineapple, cherry, any of the fruit,
right.
and it's all good stuff. But if you get a Czech community within driving distance, somebody's going to have kolaches to buy.
Right.
We have lots of uh, Czech areas in Texas.
Are they like a cake dough, or are they more like a pastry kind of dough?
No,
You
it's
know.
more like bread that's really sweet and a
Okay.
little bit of buttery and just delicious.
Because I don't like cake dough biscuits. I mean, cake dough donuts, cake dough, any of that kind of stuff. If I'm gonna eat a
No,
cake,
it's not cake.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I'm not don't like that kind of like donuts. That's the reason I am not a Dunkin' Donut fan. Um,
They're kind of brown like a dinner roll, but they don't taste like a dinner roll. They're a lot better than a dinner roll.
yeah, I like what.
Sometimes they put. Do you know what boudin is?
No,
You don't know what boudin is. You're not from Louisiana, are you?
no. Uh,
Some people fill kolaches with boudin. Does anybody in the side chat know what boudin is? Boudin. I can't say it like a
it's a
Cajun.
recipe, a pork and rice Cajun sausage.
Yeah.
I had to look it up. Not like sausage. I
Some boudin is made without liver, but yeah. I think the real boudin has liver in it, but I don't really taste the liver when I eat boudin.
No, vintage, I don't. My levels are just fine. They're always good.
Ponani. I'm gonna refill my coffee. Be right
Yeah,
back.
I don't. I don't eat a lot of sweets. It sounds like I do, but I don't. I like. I binge. Hey, don't go talking about potted meat. See, baklava is a little too sweet for me. Yeah, Asian sweets are good. Um, and I like if I like light and fluffy pastries that are sweet. It doesn't. It's not coated in any icing or any of that kind of stuff, but the bread itself is sweet. I like those. Liver mush, probably. Um, Liver mush is probably what you were talking about, Beth. Yeah, you fry some.
Boudin has the original recipe. I think does have liver in it.
It's good. Liver mush is good, especially when you fry it up and you have some grits and scrambled eggs. Beth, did you try any hog head cheese when you here? Hog head cheese. Any of that? I'll
That's
have to.
nastiness now.
I'll have to find you some before you come back. That's literally made with everything that's left over. Good morning, Sue. Beth
Yeah,
comes. Beth came out here and she was overwhelmed by the genteel nature of the place out here.
head cheese. No, 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 no. I'm with you. Yuck. Dun, dun.
Y'all were just too picky. Multicultural families, we cook and eat a lot of
Bearded
bread.
picker, bearded picker, bearded picker. Where's he at this morning?
I don't know, but
I
he's
said his
getting.
said his name 3 times. So
We got like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna be wrapping this thing up. I got people to do and places to see.
people to do. Were you on that Epstein plane ride?
Nah, um, but I'll try anything. You know, Peddling Prophet says we have a multicultural family members. We cook and eat a lot of variety of foods.
Aha.
I will try it. I might, and if I don't like it, then I'll say no, thank you.
I'm sitting right here. What do you want?
Nothing. Just wondered where you were.
Give us a quick recap. How many you got shipping out today?
Right now, I got 4 to do.
That's all.
Well, I shipped 9 last night at midnight, so they're already done.
Oh, okay. I was like, dang, son.
Last night about 10:30, I'm like, am I going in or am I just gonna go ahead and ship the rest of the shit? So I shipped the rest of that shit. I was trying to get my so the iPhone 15, just like the 14 for the Amazon app, sucks. And so yesterday I was out doing our RA and using the scanner, and it was all screwed up with the app. And I'm like, you know what? I need my old Galaxy phone back because it scans like a beast. And I just happened to, I guess my phone was listening because when I sat down to eat dinner last night, one of the my thing was best cell phone plans from this guy. I don't know his channel from Adam's House Cat, but I watched it while I was eating. And did you know that US Mobile will give you a cell phone plan, unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigabytes of data, which is not a ton, but I just need it to scan, and that's it. I don't need it for anything else. And so I set the phone up where only 2 apps get data and turn everything. Take a guess what they charge you, including tax, for 2 gigabytes of data, unlimited talk and text on Verizon's network.
$29.99.
Nope,
Lower?
nope.
I have no idea. $39.99.
$10.
$10? I said lower. You said no.
$10. Tactical Z said $11.99. No, it's $10. And that's including taxes, which was shocking. And so I'll start carrying the second phone again. But so because that phone was a Verizon phone,
Right.
and they can't activate with the eSIM on there because it's going back to something with Verizon. I have to get a physical SIM card, and so that was like $3, $4.
Yeah.
So it'll be here either Friday or it'll be here Friday or Saturday. Yeah, Vintage Memory says U.S. Mobile and Mint have awesome plans. You get the choice on either T-Mobile or Verizon whenever you sign up for it. Well, they give you the choice of the ultra wideband or the regular, and the ultra. Of course, the only company with ultra wideband is Verizon, and then the other one is T-Mobile. But yeah, $10. And if that was not enough to get for you, and you wanted to go wild and crazy and get 6 gigabytes of data, that's $18, tax included. So I did that last night. After I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. All I want to do is scan eBay and Amazon with his phone, and nothing else. I'll list because I don't even list on that phone. I list on this phone. I list on this phone. I don't even list on that phone. I just so
What did you get your tablet to list on?
they're too big. I got glasses. I can see.
Okay.
And then so I did go out and do RA, and people are crazy. So I found 45 of a $4 item in 3 different stores, total of 45. They've been out for a long time. So I got them listed last night about midnight. Somebody in Massachusetts ordered 3 of one, 2 of the other at $25 a piece, and then paid another $24 expedited shipping. So I'll ship it today in Massachusetts. So for those 5, I spent $23 on tax and everything. They paid $150.
Good deal.
I'm not asking you the product itself, but was it like toys or was it like healthcare, that type of stuff?
It's health and beauty.
Health and beauty.
I've done a lot of toys, but I'm really good at health and beauty. So I decided. I don't know if you watched the show yesterday or not, Tom. But I was going to do a wholesale model, and I'm like, you know what? That's boring as hell. A lot of work for a 20% margin.
Right.
I think the reason why I watch a lot of these crash videos is I miss being out on the road and doing stuff. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a lot of the southeast for the next few months of just uh, retail arbitrage to health and beauty for the next probably the first 6 months of the year, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do.
Right. You just want to get back on the road again. On the road again.
Well, the one thing okay, so been having this kind of conversation with myself about what do I enjoy about this, what am I really good at, and the thought keeps coming back. You're really good at hunting this shit down, and I don't really care to go to just go to Walmart to buy wholesale to flip stuff for and just go scanning my guts up. So and not to mention I made a lot more money when I was out there doing that. So it's time to and I found one other product. It was $3.79, and I've got it listed 2 packs at 99 on Amazon. So and I found 15 of those.
What's it selling for on?
eBay.
Are you making a 2 pack, or is it a already a 2 pack?
I'm making a 2 pack. It's
Okay.
they sell for 40 right at $40 each on eBay. Yeah. So if you don't know, Anissa is saying arbitrage the Stanleys. I think today or yesterday, Target's released the pink Stanleys at their Starbucks in their Targets. I think those things cost about $50. How much do they cost on this? But they're selling for 180 at the 220. I forgot about them. Didn't go look. So they're probably sold out now. Why are
And
people so crazy? They want to carry around one of them big ass Stanley cups with a handle on it and look and pay stupid money for it. So James, so you get the choice on that one. So that U.S. Mobile will be fine for you. You said Verizon does work there, so Verizon. So I'll let you guys know. I'll have that, and I'll use it this weekend. So next week I'll tell you the results of this because you could if you know a phone, you can go in and set up a phone. The stuff that kills your data on phone are apps that you scroll through. So Instagram and all those, I turned all their data off, uh, only Wi-Fi, and I turned it where they can't do background, that means that they're updating while you're doing something.
right,
So I turned all that off, and I turned it the only eBay, Amazon, and a couple of those are the only thing that can do anything in the background, and they're the only ones that are approved for to use data. So
I've got a phone that I use to take pictures with. It don't have any service on it at all. I'm just using Wi-Fi, and I've removed everything off of that phone except the picture taking part of it. And hell, that thing will last a month between recharges because there's nothing. It's like if you have Bluetooth, it's constantly pinging, even if you don't have your Bluetooth like you have earbuds or whatnot. If it's
so
on, it's pinging.
So James, you are actually wrong there. James says other carriers don't get priority on Verizon towers. AT&T is the same. So certain levels of their service, whenever you're looking at the services, will say prioritize and deprioritize. So depending on what level of service you have, um, I just need eBay and Amazon app. I don't need super duper
Right.
million miles an hour. I just I mean I think the guy I watched another guy review the service, and he's like, yeah, on bad days it's 200 down and like 140 up. I'm like, that's faster than my house. What the hell's that's a bad day? Um,
Back in the day when I was doing merchandising, I had a track phone as a second phone, and that's the merchandising companies and stuff. That's the phone that they use. They didn't use my personal phone, and I did a lot of stuff inside of theaters, and I because I carried it was a little flip phone, and I carried it around in my pocket, and at times it would go off. And I had this one guy said, "What kind of service do you have?" Because I was inside of one of the theaters, and I said, "It's just a track phone." He said, "I've got Verizon, and I don't have crap for signal." And this was one that jumped around from all the different systems. I don't know. Think they do that anymore. But you might be on a Verizon or an AT&T or a T-Mobile or Sprint. That's how far back it was. Yeah, like there used to be a big cellular company called Sprint. Um,
and they sucked, and so they decided it would be good to go with T-Mobile, who also sucks. And there you go. Well, if you stay in town, those are fine. But if you get out on, they don't have the same interstate coverage AT&T and Verizon have.
it's a lot better though now because we have T-Mobile.
Yeah, I just talked them up. Your order's on its way, so they have shipped the SIM card. I probably should have just done this phone because it was an AT&T one, so it would have done the eSIM, and I could be using it. But sorry,
You know, on I-95 there was a stretch that had no towers, and it didn't matter who you were with, you lost service. And
yeah,
I went to a conference. I went to a conference, and this guy, it was at a campground. Um, he, I told him, I said, man, you need to put up a tower and rent space to these daggum cell services. And he said, why is that? I said, well, first of all, his question was, can you do that? And I said, yes, you can. And so anyway, he did. He ended up, well, a company out of Texas. They're like the middleman. You supply the land, they see about getting the tower built, and then they handle the contracts with the different service providers. He sent me a check for $1,000 because he said this is a money maker here, because he said everyone wanted to be on his tower because there was no towers. You literally would cross over 26 on 95 headed south and lose service. And
yeah.
now they
But
had service in there.
there's also used to be some bad areas. If you were on 95 south of Florence, it would get kind of sketchy.
Yeah. And if you get up in nowadays, if you go up to like the North Carolina mountains with the new services that they're all using, the towers have to be a lot closer together. So all the mountains up in the Smoky Mountains now, unless they're in the national forest, has cell towers on top of them.
I bet Tesla had all kinds of shit that if we were allowed to look at his all his drawings and paperwork, not only would we have free energy, I bet the communications and stuff would be.
Well, there was a couple on the cruise ship that had a sat phone with them, and it had data on it, and he said when you look at how much the cruise ships cost for like um, charge for Wi-Fi and stuff like that, and they cruise a lot. Um, he said it was just as cheap because he says we don't talk on the telephone.
Yeah, sat phones are their plans are just ridiculous right now.
Yeah,
But regular phones were that way. Now that the iPhones will connect via satellite to for emergencies and stuff, it'll be a few years and they'll be affordable.
y'all don't remember it, lag. Don't fall out of your chair now, son. But they used to charge you by the minute.
Man,
Your
I
pl-
tell
your
you,
pl-
Lag's
your
probably our age. Lag's our age. I don't buy that shit that he lives in his mama's basement. All that crazy shit. The
uh
only way he lives in his mama's basement is that was his mama's house. He inherited it, and he probably buried her in the basement.
yeah. But they that was a day. You did not get on a cell phone and talk for 3 hours. You unless you willing to pay for it.
Yeah, when I was a district manager running Taco Bell districts in Georgia, I think I had like a 2,000 minute plan, and that was a crazy expensive plan just because they would 8 stores would wear it out.
Yeah, what was it? What was it was before the everything went digital. What was the other one? The type of service you had? Help me out here, people in the chat.
Analog,
Analog, that's it. Well, analog, the towers could be further apart. Then
right?
when they went to digital, they had to start being closer together. Matter of fact, I've got a friend who is he handles installation for cell services. He said a lot of churches will have cell repeaters up in their bell tower just to help and they're getting paid monthly by the cell service providers just to
That's the problem with the Verizon, the ultra band, ultra wave, or whatever they call it. It doesn't penetrate um, buildings and stuff very well, so they need a combination of it and the regular 5G.
No, I have not been to New York City proper, so I don't know. This is just hearsay. But they said that cell service used to be terrible in New York because of all the buildings. You could call from one you could be standing on Fifth Street and try to call to Seventh Street and you have no service.
James says he has no problems with penetration. James, they will. If that's not a problem, they'll put you on a special list where wherever you live, you have to tell people in the area who you are.
Yeah, the 3 watt bag phones, Jay.
And you know, so anybody think anything's going to come of the? They started releasing the Epstein list yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Turns out Clinton likes him young. Imagine that. Did we have any doubt that Bill was a pedo? There's quite a few names on there. It seems that Shifty Schiff went to Epstein Island 70 times. He's got issues.
Who?
Uh, Schiff, the senator from Connecticut or whatever,
Uh,
one who was railing against Trump.
uh,
And guess what? Guess who wasn't on the list and never did any of that? Guess who wasn't there?
hey, little Debbie. I didn't see you come in.
I don't think Trump was there. Do you think Trump was there? Trump wasn't on anybody's list. Imagine that.
Mr. Sadie, bastard. I never had to twist the little knob or dab the button on top of the phone and say, Myrtle, patch me through the BR549. Now we had everybody had party phones. I remember party lines. I remember that. But I don't go back that far. Thank you very much.
All these people should resign in disgrace. Oprah went down there too many times. You, Tom, your boy FJB went down there quite a few times. There's a
Who?
bunch of Joe Biden went down. There's all the names that are on this list. Yeah, there's a reason why they went after Prince. What's his name or whatever his name is, Andrew, because yeah, he's got a problem. They. But it'll be interesting. So I don't know if y'all saw the controversy, but Aaron Rodgers was on what's his name show and started railing on what's his name, the late night host who they've been feuding for quite a while, Kimmel.
Right.
And there's people, and Kimmel fired back that he'd never, and all. There's some people that are saying Kimmel's on the list, and somebody there he's not. So it'd be interesting to see. Because if he's not on the list and you've run your mouth like that, I would think there's a libel suit coming.
So how did they get it released? Freedom of information or?
Yeah, because it's in a lawsuit that they're going after Jelaine for.
Okay.
Yeah, John Jones. There's if you believe the great conspiracy theorist who has turned out, you got to shut him up because he's right so much. Alex Jones. Alex Jones says the FBI's got it all the recordings from down there, all the. There's so the Obamas went down there, and there's supposedly a video of the Obamas, so we can finally to see what kind of package old Big Mike's got. I ain't betting against Big Mike. Big Mike's home probably more than all of us.
So they before everybody leaves the show, are they just are they releasing like parts of it, or have they released the whole list?
It all got released yesterday. You can find most of it on X. Alan Dershowitz, the liberal, seems like he likes little kids. He went down there 60 or 70 times.
You know, These people are crazy. They need to know. People need to wake up and say, "This is not 1969 or 1974."
I mean, did you think that you were
Everything,
going to go down to an island and have sex with children and there weren't cameras setting you up? Did you? You've looked around and seen all these people who are blackmailed. Did you not think there was going to be a record of you down there doing God knows what?
James. I remember when you used dimes. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't understand these people thinking that this shit is going to come out and bite you on the ass. It don't matter what you're doing. You know, um, it's going to end up. If anybody knows about it besides you, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt because with the national rags willing to pay money for good stories, you know, nothing is. Yeah, peddling profit. They're a bunch of sickos.
Tech guy. Those are old school IDE hard drives.
Yeah, that's how many hard drives that they've got of all that from down there.
Old school DVR recordings. Now, I would imagine
It's like I said, I don't understand how.
And everything being digital, man, that stuff can be anywhere now. It can be. Just think about how much information is on a thumb drive.
Yeah, because you can get like 2 terabit hard drives now. I mean, thumb drives. So, anyway, I got to get out of here. I got.
Not to see the one I saw last night of Big Mike coming out of this building and he grabbed his crotch.
Oh God.
I mean, that shit was swinging around like you think he'd have taped it to his leg better if he's going out. If he's going out with old Sorto.
Big Mike.
So thank you all, everybody, for coming in here today and hanging out with me and Todd.
Swinging left and right, Big Mike.
Sorry, I ran off one of your viewers. I triggered one of your viewers. Sorry about that.
Who was that?
The person who left.
Oh, okay.
I triggered him on his show the other day by mentioning guns, and then I guess I triggered him this time by. Sorry about that.
So, what was I saying? Oh, okay. Thanks for coming in. I know Todd's got to go see his girlfriends and buy some more stuff that he's got to get listed.
Yep.
Scott's getting to finish his shipping.
I gotta go get. They're at the building. I gotta go get them. Well, the one thing's here, but I gotta go get them.
I gotta reset it. I'm resetting up my system today.
Yeah, that's the next thing coming. Is if you? I was watching someone. I forget what podcast he was on. But he was talking that they have technology now that can not only can it read your mind, but it can also implant thoughts.
Okay. Are they Vulcan?
Mind meld.
Yeah. The scary thing is you laugh about all this stuff and what's his name? One of the guys who was way up in the government who's now leading the charge to out all this stuff. When he looks at the camera and says, the things they would do are, yeah, we have the technology to take ET home, and the things that they can do. And remember, all these spacecrafts that wrecked supposedly didn't have controls or anything. These beings controlled it with their minds.
Well, all I got to say is my people won't let you people leave the planet. Y'all can go to the moon, but that's about it. We're not letting you crazy humans get off the planet. Okay?
Call me crazy. I don't think they've been to the moon yet.
But you still believe in the flat Earth, so
that was a sound studio in Hollywood.
Now it's a bipod.
Yeah. So anyway, I gotta go. Y'all have a great day. Thanks, Todd. As always. Thank you, Scott. Look for Todd's show in the morning, and I'll
see. Me and Tactical next time. If I'm ever in Maryland again, we need to hang out and have a beer, Tactical Z. That would be a great night.
Y'all will end up in jail. So anyway, thank y'all. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.